I know a place where the beer is good and cold, where everybody young and old can put the whole world on hold. I know a place with a flashing neon sign where everything's just fine and there's always a good time. I know a place with a pair of swinging doors, with a good wood dance floor and good drink galore. I know a place with a dark and smoky room where whiskey and perfume scare away doom and gloom. So let's go where there ain't no bad news. Let's go where nobody sings the blues. Let's go where we ain't got nothing to lose. Let's go where there's booze.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You just heard the title track to the new album from Rebel Son. Let's go where there's booze. How'd y'all like that? That's pretty cool. This is Chicken Bone Alley, presented by SRI Performance. I'm David.
I'm Sterling. What's up, guys and girls?
Boy, it's been another week of it. Another week of, I guess we're still quarantined.
Well,
we're still quarantined.
Really. It's I don't know. You're still distancing, but I guess your group is getting a little bigger now. I guess. They lifting a little bit of things around here. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in other places, but we went on a boat this past week. We went down to the beach, Georgetown area, and I tell you what, they had a little rule or whatever out. There wasn't no more than 2 people per boat unless you was in the same household, and either people was breaking the law or there's some people got some big old houses, because I seen about 10 or 12 people on some boats, and you know, game warden don't even care. They just let them go, just whatever. So I think, you know, I guess if you're just not acting fool or that whole deal.
Well, I think their biggest thing is I know they could, I guess, but from what I've heard is they just don't want people gathered up on sandbars and islands and stuff like that, basically having parties.
I guess you got to make them, one-way aisles, like at Walmart and stuff like that. You got to make them one-way aisle. So as long as you're going one way and staying in your aisle,
40,000 people on that aisle.
There can be, yeah.
But you just got to go one way.
That's right. And you got to wait your turn to get the green beans.
Don't miss the Oreos at the first of the aisle.
You better not. You got to
go all the way out and back.
It's one way. And I don't know about everybody around here, but see, in Florence, there's not many one-way streets, so we confuse. We go back and we don't really care. We just turn around right in the middle of the road.
We pay for both sides of the road. We
don't care where we're at. We just use it. But no, it was a good weekend. It was a nice weekend. A little windy, a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as the weekend before. But we spent both days out on the water. My wife and I, anniversary. 6 years, I think. 5, 6, 6.
Because I'm 7. I'm 7.
You got
6.
it. That's right. So we kind of keep it up that way. But but yeah, we had a good time. Took the little kids out for a little fishing Sunday. They had a good time. My little boy wanted to fish the whole time. Of course, it was hot and fish weren't biting. My little girl just wanted to ride. She just wanted to go fast. That's all she cares about. So I think she got that from me a little bit. I like going fast as well. So, but no, we had a good time.
She don't want to stop for nothing.
She don't want to stop. She's wide open or she's asleep. That's the only. That's it. She's 2, and that's all. Her option is wide awake, going wide open, or sleep. That's it. So, but anyway, how about your weekend, man?
Well, I was kind of not much going on again this weekend. I worked on my truck some. You
rebuilt the motor, man?
I felt like I rebuilt the motor. I literally changed fuel filter. I've got a 1999 Toyota Tacoma. It's a little 2.7 4-cylinder. And if any of you out there have not ever changed the fuel filter on one, and you need to do so, just burn the truck. It is the dumbest design ever. Apparently, and I hope I'm not offending any of our listeners, and if they are, I don't really care. But apparently, those Japanese dudes that put them Toyotas together have a lot smaller hands than I do.
They're pretty teeny dudes.
Because
they probably crawl all up in there.
I think they did. It was like, let's bolt the fuel filter to the side of the block under the intake.
That's the way to do it.
That is above the starter. So you either have to squeeze in between the intake. And, I literally got cuts on my arm from it. You got to squeeze in there, pull it out if you can, or you've got to pull the starter off and go from the bottom. I wasn't about to pull the starter off. There's just some things I don't do. Because it's not easy to get off either. So, me and Landon, I got Landon out there with me. Because he's 11, so his hands are a little bit smaller than mine. He ain't much smaller than me, period. But I got him out there, and his hands were a little bit smaller than mine, could fit up in there. So I broke bolts loose, and I made him pull them off.
That's the way to do it, bro. Put him to work.
And Sunday, I ended up doing a little bit of the same thing. But over the weekend, overdoing that, in the middle of that, Sterling had built me a table for my iRacing rig, new setup.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
And I appreciate it. And
coming along, I like the colors. You gotta get
I decided to paint it.
You gotta get some as you go pictures in this.
Yeah,
thing,
I'm gonna have to
just
some.
do a before and after. You got to do some in between.
Bare floor. After here it is.
We got carpet, and then we have table. That's it. You got to put a whole thing in there, man. You got to make it up.
I'm not good at doing that.
Yeah, but you just hit camera and then you hit click and then you take the picture.
I won't be thinking about it in time, though.
Yeah, you need to think about it a little bit. But yeah, I didn't take pictures and I regret it. My rig's sitting over there. It's done. Got triple screen now. Whole deal. I still don't know what to do really. I still have to. I don't. We got this Discord or whatever thing. And
yeah, we changed from TeamSpeak. We've been on TeamSpeak. We're old school.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we've been on TeamSpeak forever.
Well, I still don't know what in the heck is going on. I mean, David, he tells me what to do constantly. I don't know what to do and where, and so he's literally from his house telling me what buttons to click, and it gets me to where I need to go. And But anyway.
Team effort, bro.
That's what it takes, bro. What it takes. It's the only reason I got Discord, just so you can tell me what in the hell to do.
Speaking of team effort on there, I posted them up. Posted some pictures of them up. If y'all haven't, me and Sterling actually got on there. We're able to run some of our cars together. We got some team paint jobs done by 300 Customs.
Awesome job, man. Absolutely awesome job.
Darren over at 300 Customs, he hooked us up, made them look right, look good, and if y'all need any of your iRacing cars painted up to look however you want it, so you have a one-of-a-kind car,
absolutely,
y'all check him out. He's good. He's real good. 300 Customs.
Yeah, definitely go check him out. He's on iRacing as well. He's running Thursday Night Thunder Series with David. Running good also. We're going to get into that some too. But again, go check him out. He does a fantastic job. He can change it, do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to change, he can make it work. We kind of did an inverted deal, black and white, for our cars, and he made them look great. He really did.
Yeah, we as y'all know, we brought on sponsor SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum in Draco Springs, and we had some paints on. I had some paints done up, and they look pretty cool. Just saying Chicken Bone Alley on them. But I was like, man, I really want to add our show sponsors to my car on there, and so kind of told him what I was looking for, and he made it look right off the bat. So it looks really cool, and
yeah, it sure does. Well, Corey Gordon wasn't able to run this past week on Thursday Night Thunder. He's getting his own car ready to run. He ran Cherokee, or he was helping getting his car ready to run Cherokee. So he wasn't able to get on a run this week, but David did. And tell you what, man, did a hell of a job. You about placing some money there, man.
I got close. We
that
ran
ain't
at
bad.
Lima Land, and
Lima Land's a tough racetrack. Sure is.
I like Lima Land, but I'm telling you, I've been on iRace for a long time. We both been on iRace for a long time. 10 years this year I'll be on. There is something those boys do. And in saying that, I've been on there for that long. Dirt cars have only been on there for what, 3 years now, 2 years,
right.
Something like that. Whatever. Time flies when you have fun, But there's something them boys do, even at a fixed setup.
You want me to tell you what they do?
Yeah, I want you to tell me what they do.
I will tell you exactly what they do. They get on iRacing for 12 hours a day, and that's how they figure it out. I run it 2 hours a week. It's a little different.
Apparently so, because I feel like I'm out there just driving the dog out the car. I feel like I'm getting everything it can get.
Yeah.
When the track slicks off, I feel like I'm backing off in the right places, or I feel like, because you can't run it just wide open when it's dry slick.
It's
you
fun,
got to
dude.
back off and
I love it. Work the throttle.
Work the throttle, and I like it. It's so much fun.
So much fun.
But them boys that go in the corner seem like they're going faster than me, and they come out the corner still faster than me. I'm like,
well, that's what I ain't figured out. We ran a street stock race at Volusia last night, and it was a 50-lap race, and we qualified what, top, I don't know, 7th, 8th, somewhere along in there.
Like
we both right there, a couple hundredths off each other, and fired off great. And then as the race progressed, track slicked off, groove moved up, and you could run dead in the bottom, and that was running great. But I couldn't get it. I couldn't figure it out. And them boys was getting drive off unbelievable off the bottom. And we go down there and you can't do nothing with it. So I don't know how to do it. It's a lot to learn, but it's fun. It's good. Like I said, we've said before, it's good seat time for us to get in there and enjoy it. We can't afford to run, so we get on there and have a good time.
yeah, I'll go back to the Thursday Night Thunder stuff just a little bit. Got on there, and I think I qualified 12th or something like that. No, I qualified 9th, actually. I qualified inside top 10.
You run heats, though, right?
I was happy with myself, but we ran heats after that. And dude, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know who it was. Don't care. Guys on iRacing, come on, you cannot win any race in turn 1. Can't do it at the first lap. You cannot do it.
It don't matter what lap it is. You can't.
You can lose the race right in.
You can lose it in turn 1,
but you can't win it.
Win it in turn 1.
I went in the corner. Guy in front of me set the car in. I went to set mine in. All of a sudden, I knew I was on 2 wheels. Dude behind me just drove straight up under me. And the only good thing was about it, I mean, he caught kind of up under me. It shot me up in the air a little bit, put me on 2 wheels. But I brought the car back down.
Yeah.
But it shuffled me back. So, the heats were only 7, 8 laps, something like that. So I didn't have no time to get back up there. So I started the race 12th. We start the race. I'd lose a couple spots. I'd gain a couple spots. All of a sudden, something would happen. I'd be back 12th.
Yeah, you ran 12 pretty much the whole night.
I ran 12th the whole time until there's a little bit of attrition in it, I guess you would say. But it come in once track got slick. I was able to drive around a few cars. I timed some runs right, timed some fly jobs right, and ended up finishing 8th in it. So I felt pretty good about it because them boys in that series, any series on iRacing that pays money,
boys are good.
Boys are pretty good. So
Boys are good.
I pat myself on the back. I finished inside the top 10. I felt good about it.
Yeah, you did good. You did. You actually did. I didn't get. I had to work late, so I didn't get to watch much of it. But I saw kind of toward the end of it. But what I did see was pretty interesting, pretty eventful. The sprint race was nothing but a wreck fest. It was ridiculous from what I saw. Nothing but
boys
cautions.
doing that. That's a tough track to get around. You got.
Well, it is, but you got to give and take a little bit, man.
Yeah, you got to give and take. There's a lot of off throttle time, and
just but anyway, I didn't get to see much of it, so I don't really know. I can't speak up.
I mean, I watched it as much as you did. I'm not sure who won it. I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't look at names this week.
That Murtaugh dude, pretty good.
Richard Murtaugh is good.
He's been up front past 2 weeks for first 2 weeks, whichever, and he's pretty strong. So I love for him to do well throughout the rest of the series and the big money race coming up on the 15th and 16th. He's gonna be I think he's gonna be hard to handle.
It's gonna be tough. We go to Kokomo, probably my least favorite track, Kokomo this week. Far as I know, I thought it was a different track last week, and they changed it up on me. And
oh really?
So last time I saw it was Kokomo. Last time I heard it was Kokomo. I just show up, bro. I just show up and drive. That's all I do.
Show up and drive. That's all you gotta do.
That's all I do, bro. Just show up and drive. Speaking of the Thursday Night Thunder series, that is promoted by Terry Odom, and Terry Odom is the promoter for Triple T Raceway and Paradise Raceway. Well, we talked about last week, Paradise was going to be running this past Saturday.
We apologize for that, but we was
well. That was the case at the time of recording, because Terry was supposed to be on here talking to us, and at the time of recording, they were still running.
Yeah, they were still running. I know he had to work late, and a lot of things got involved in that, and he hates it, and we all hate it. But anyway, couldn't do it, so they're gonna postpone it and run it May the 16th. More money, They're putting more money in it. They're adding more classes. I know they got a senior champ and a teen champ or something, I think, added in now. They putting more money in it, putting more classes in there. So I hope by that point everything will be a little bit more smooth and cleared out or whatever, where everybody can go and have a good time and whatever you're allowed to do distance wise, whatever in the heck, I don't know. Just make sure you go one way is all I can tell you to do.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, if there is a positive that comes out of having to postpone the race, it got postponed because there was a whole big ordeal on social media. Apparently, somebody, possibly some other track promoters or something like that, they all went to the county about it and asked why they could run, but this one couldn't, and blah 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 blah.
Well, I know Dylan's right in the same area.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're a few miles away from each other.
They couldn't run that week, so
right. And so I don't know what all actually happened. Don't know. Don't really care. I mean,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But it was a lot of mouths that apparently caused them to have to postpone the race. But if there's any good that comes from it, is now Terry knows what kind of response he had for this race.
Yeah.
And there was a ton of people going to come to this race. They were going to come race. They were ready to race.
They were ready to race. I think that's why they get more money coming up. So
I think they could have paid zero and they still would have showed up to race.
I believe so. Everybody's ready to do something.
So, but with that being said, like I just said, with knowing what kind of crowd you're going to have, then they decided, hey, let's up the purse. Let's add more classes. So that's going to be good.
Absolutely. If we're going to be in town, we definitely head over there for that. But I hope everybody is able to get over there and whoever can or whatever that is. I don't know what all is going to be the case there. We'll see. But there's a lot going on that weekend. Florence coming back. They posted that they're running May the 16th. Then details to follow. So we don't really know what classes, don't really know what money purse, whatever. But also that weekend is Darlington coming back.
Yep.
May 17th, that's Sunday. It's going to be on Fox at 3 or 3:30, whatever. And, they're saying no practice, no qualifying. Just pull the car out of the trailer, put it on pit road, and run 400 miles. And I don't really know that that's safe and smart, but that's I would at least say shake the car down.
That's what they're doing. Real quick before we go straight into NASCAR stuff, I want to go back real fast. Dillon Motor Speedway this weekend.
Oh, you're right.
Yep, they are running this weekend. I saw it. They are running the and it was posted later this afternoon. Well, I say this afternoon it was posted. They're running the Challenger AR series, the Mass Street Stock Series, and I think it's INEX Southern Legend Series.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to. I need to text him. Need to text our boy John Lane.
See if he's running.
See if he gonna run. I hope he is. I gotta get up with him. See what we got going on this weekend. So if you're in the area, don't go.
Well, I don't know. They got a little,
that sucks.
I don't know. You can park. I don't know. I haven't heard.
That's what I was about to say.
But there's parking around 1 and 2.
There's parking around 1 and 2. There could possibly be parking in 3 and 4.
Possibly. I don't know what they've done. I don't know what they're allowing.
But the grandstands.
But the grandstands are closed.
Yep.
100%. But I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be streamed on something where somebody can watch it of some sort, so whatever. But anyway, there's going to be more to come on that. I know. But I'm glad that at least we're running around here.
Yeah, follow our social medias, and we'll definitely keep you posted. Whatever comes out, we'll repost it ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if anybody's looking for some racing going on, asphalt racing, Dillon Motor Speedway is running.
Yeah. So we got 2 weeks coming up, and we got racing coming back.
We have racing on the track in our area.
Coming back. I hate it in a way because I can't go, but I'm glad we got racing coming back. So we'll see.
Maybe we can be in as track personnel and we'll go interview some.
I'll be a security guard or something. I mean, what you want me to do? I'll do something. But
be the guy that opens the gate. There you go.
I ain't gonna lie. On May the 17th, I'm gonna go to Darlington and sit outside, and I'm gonna hear some race cars.
I just want to hear them. I just want to hear. Maybe catch a
absolutely.
whiff. Maybe catch a whiff of the smell.
We're gonna catch something. We're gonna be wafting. We're gonna be trying to get some woof of some racing fuel and some tire smoke, something. We need something.
I'm gonna tell you because I want to ride over there, and I hope we can get close to it
we're
myself, and we're gonna do it. But it's gonna sound so funny when there's nobody in the stands and there's 40 cars going around the track.
It's gonna sound different.
That is gonna be crazy.
It's gonna sound very different.
And
so we're gonna see what happens. But I'm excited. Glad it's coming back. I don't know. Hey, we'll see. Maybe this is the start of opening things back up. If people think it's time to do it, people feel comfortable doing so. The people that feel comfortable, I say, can go. Let them do what they decide to do. It's your freedom, to my opinion, to make your decision on what you would like to do. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm hoping on the lines, and this is completely off a racing topic. I'm hoping they decide to open these places back up because I have already purchased tickets to go to Disney World the week of Thanksgiving, and I need them to open back up because trying to reschedule that is going to be tough.
I'm gonna tell you what would be nice, what would be awesome, is if they only allow the people that have reservations for that week to go.
Well,
and then you have no line.
That's what I've heard. Is the first I saw something today said they're going to be opening within months, which will be awesome. It wasn't an official word.
Plural or
it said
multiple
months.
Plural or months. Was it multiple? Because I mean, I don't know. It kind of stretches out, and I don't know how that works.
I'm hoping that means like 2 or 3. And supposedly the first phase is going to be 50% capacity.
Maybe you'll be in the.
I'm hoping I'm in that first phase.
Yeah,
that'd be
nice,
freaking nice. But anyway, battery racing.
Hey, we'll get back to it.
A little side note.
One of the last weeks of the NASCAR on Fox iRacing Pro Invitation, whatever it's called, Wreckfest, whatever.
Wreckfest 50.
Mr. iRacing himself, William Byron, of course, dominates.
Yeah, that's 3 wins for him.
And what? Bowman won. So we got like the past 4 weeks has been nothing but Hendrick cars. So maybe that's a good. We might see nothing but Hendrick car when we come back. I don't know. We're gonna see.
Well, Bowman done won a race first of this year.
He has. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Hey.
I just don't get me wrong. I don't mind William Byron winning, but he really messed up the streak of the double-digit cars.
The double digits. He screwed us up. We've had a bunch of double digits, but hey, we'll see what comes back.
Timmy Hill even got up there and won.
He sure did. So, Christopher Bale, I know, give him a little run for his money from what I can understand. I wasn't able to watch it. I was on the water, of course, but I think he finished second.
He led a few laps, but he couldn't. William Byron is so good on the long run.
He is.
I say long run, not long run, because there's no such thing as
long
10 run.
Laps. That's pretty much.
Yeah, 10 laps. But he's good because he stays out forever. He pitted one time and was like, I'm done. And he can just conserve tires enough.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because for whatever reason, these dudes, and I know what it is. Like we said before, there's just no consequence for it. They make moves that they would never make in real life.
Negative.
And so I don't know.
I will say too, though. Running iRacing, I will tell you for sure, starting up front makes a world of difference.
I'll tell you this. I ran a race at Dover the other day, and I'm normally pretty decent at Dover. I love Dover. I love Dover typically, but I got in a Xfinity race at Dover on iRacing. Got in there, and my car was handling awful. I was slow, and I was like, what is wrong? Got in the race, and I just could not figure it out. And all of a sudden, I looked, and there's a little box down on the bottom, typically, that shows you your steering wheel tracking. Somehow, my steering wheel had become very uncalibrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was turning to like 10 o'clock, and my steering wheel was turning to 5 o'clock.
What?
Yeah. By the time I got done with it, we had a long run for the last part of it. I checked my tire wear, and I started just trying to ease into it, but you can't ease so much when it's turning that much. And
No.
I went and looked at my tire wear. Right front was down to 30%. If I'd have gone many more laps, it'd have blown out. It was smoking that tire.
Tell you what, man, I do like to do tire model and all that on there. It makes it a little more realistic for us that, grew up racing and grew up learning how to conserve tires, and it does make it better. I know it's still a virtual whatever, but it's still, for what we can do, it makes it somewhat interesting. But anyway, go ahead.
Staying on that topic of the NASCAR Invitational.
Yeah.
I didn't even have this in our notes here.
Oh, that's right. It's coming up week.
It's coming up week. This is one of the coolest things that happened yet. And thank you, Dale Jr., for it.
Absolutely.
Everybody has wanted some version of North Wilkesboro back. Well, North Wilkesboro will be back on TV this Saturday.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to check that out.
After everybody check it out. I don't know if it's gonna be released in a new build to everyone yet. I don't know.
I hear June. I hear
yeah,
in the June build.
Somehow or another they're releasing the build to just select few for this race, but obviously they're done with the track. I don't know if they're done with all the exterior, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But it's really cool to see them come back to North Wilkesboro. I really want to see them guys because, the funny thing about it is William Byron and all these boys ain't going to have no practice unless they're already given the track now to test on. I don't know. But, Junior's, I think he's run it somewhat. Yeah, I don't know if Bobby Labonte's going to be trying to get in, but I know he's run it.
Bobby Labonte is running because they were saying he was the only driver that's going to be running that has actually drove at the track. And I was like, man, why don't Jeff Gordon run it this week? I know he ran Talladega, but he was the last person to win at that track. He needs to be on it running.
I'd love to see it, but it's going to be interesting. So people definitely go check it out. I know everybody jumped on and was all on board watching it every Sunday, and I'm guilty of it myself. We've been on the water here the past couple weeks and haven't been at home to watch, but definitely record it. Whatever you got to do, go back, watch it, check it out. Get some publicity in North Wilkesboro, because if this no fans deal keeps on, they got a clean track.
They do. They were talking about. I heard another pod. I think it was Doorbell Clear I was listening to, because they were asking about the track, because people had said, and we'd even said, hey, why not go run at North Wilkesboro? It'll be time for it. And I don't disagree, but they said the garage and everything, it was like falling in.
If you can't work on some gun car,
pull it out the trailer and go.
I mean, do they have pit road?
They got pit road.
Okay.
They cleaned it up.
Take the car out of the truck. Put it on a rollback. I don't care. It ain't that far from Mooresville.
I ain't kidding.
Charlotte area. Put it on a rollback. Put it up there. It's one day deal. One day event.
Carry Larson's car that day from
there you go.
From Charlotte.
From the road where that was the trip there, boy. Just leave it on the rollback. Take it to the shop.
Yeah. You take that to the shop for us? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll see what happens. But definitely check that race out. It's pretty cool to have North Wilkesboro back. And like David said, Dale Jr. coming up to push that, to get that cleaned up and scanned. If they ever tear it down, if it goes to waste, at least it's scanned and it's there. iRacing's got it, and it's best condition this day and time. Yep. Pretty neat. So we'll see what happens.
That's so cool, because the pictures I've seen of it look like it did in 1992.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Everything looks so run down, looking at old school was awesome.
Well, I mean, it looks clean, but it looks
clean,
1992-ish.
Right. I mean, right.
So
it's
cool.
definitely old school. So it's pretty neat. But kind of leading out of iRacing, somewhat. A lot of people don't want to talk about him. A lot of people just whatever. We're gonna talk about him. Kyle Larson. He went through his little class deal or whatever they call it. The whatever it is,
the sensitivity training.
I guess through NASCAR is affected into the World of Outlaw deal, but Kyle's coming back to run Knoxville this week, and him and Casey Kane, I believe, going to be there Friday night.
This is Casey's first race back since he got injured last year, I think it was.
Yeah. So I'm hoping Kyle the best. We've got a lot of speculation, and we could talk about it for hours, and no sense in going into all that. But I don't know if Kyle wants to come back to the Cup Series. I don't know. We've heard him say a lot that he wants to eventually run the full sprint car tour, and run for a championship and all that there. So, is this his chance? Is he trying to do that? I know he's selling his house and his soon-to-be house, his house he's building in the Mooresville area. He's selling both of them off. Is he doing that for the reason being of trying to travel with the sprint car tour? I don't know, but I wish him the best. I hope. I don't want to see the man's whole career completely killed because of a mistake. A simple mistake as that. So I wish him nothing but the best for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I hate to see him selling his houses up there. I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe just consolidate and say, hey, I'm gonna sell these. We're gonna come back, roll back a little bit, and see what's to come. I actually had a conversation when I posted this stuff on Facebook and our socials. I actually ended up having a conversation with a couple listeners, and some of them were saying, well, how fast till Stuart Haas picks him up? And it's like I told him, I said, well, man, I hope to pick him up too, but that's all on the sponsors.
Well, it is, but at the same time, it's on Kyle as well. Where's Kyle's heart? Does Kyle want to just stay in sprint cars? Maybe he's content. Maybe that's where his true love is, running sprint cars. And if it is, this is his way out. He can build his name back or whatever, and enjoy that career and have more family time, spending more time with his I know there's more races.
I was fixing to say, I don't know if there's more time home.
There's more races involved, but it's more down to earth, more laid back, not as much in the spotlight.
One of the cool thing is about him is his wife is used to that because she come from a racing family. That's Brad Sweet's sister.
Right.
And she knows the schedule. She knows the travel, and just like every race, she's at every race. And they're there racing. They're a racing family. That's what they are. They're a racing family.
They don't care.
You got some families
else
out there that look like they're, the husband, dad, he drives, but they just show up just for show.
No, she's all in this.
She's in it. They're a racing family
and whatever else. But even when they're off from the Cup schedule throughout the whole off season, they're wherever in the world else racing. So they
leave like Christmas Day and go to New Zealand.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I don't want us to kill his whole career. He's very talented. He made some mistakes, and I don't think that should be his legacy. I think that needs to kind of at some point let go and hopefully he can make a name for himself again and get his fans back or get his respect back, whatever's involved there. But speaking of racing coming back, SRI, our good buddies, our good friends, our supporters of ours that taking a chance on us. They got a whole bunch of racing parts over there, man. And I'll tell you what, they got some good deals coming up.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, they are extending the Valvoline promotion. Where they normally got a 55-gallon drum, they normally have it for $25.99, is now $19.99.
They continuing that. That's a good deal, man.
Continuing that. And quarts, typically $14.99. Got them on sale right now for $10.
$10
a quart through the month of May. So that's some pretty good deals. Also, they're really into and going with and going with your personal protection right now.
Yeah, well, that's all the time with them. I know this whole virus deal, whatever, but we say SRI performance and racing parts and safety products and whatever else for racing. they cover a whole lot more than just that. They do have a lot of your personal protective equipment. So definitely, if you got to have some of that stuff, just anytime, check them out. They got all kind of stuff, David.
Yeah, they sent us a flyer, no lie, and they literally have on here hand sanitizer, surface sanitizer, all your face mask needs. They got the N95s, they got the 3 layers, whichever one you need. They got gloves. Also have thermometers. If you're in one of these places, you run a business that you want to check people's temperature right now coming in, they got you. They got anything you need. Eyewear, protective suits, earmuffs, anything else you will need. Give them a call. Phone number. This is actually through SRI Supplies. So go to sri-supplies.com. Give them a phone call, 704-664-3044. Give them a call up there, and they can hook you up with any personal protection equipment that you will possibly need.
Yeah. Speaking of protective, you go in these stores and a lot of these stores around here anyway, they got these makeshift walls up in between you and the person working at the store,
and the half clear trash bags and
and I mean, you're looking through a piece of plywood and a little hole in the wall, and I'm like, God dog, but I can't get my 12 pack in there for you to ring it up, Anyway, but I'm gonna tell you what, we spoke about it before. Stock Car Steel's got the best. Anything you need steel wise for a race car, they got it in stock, ready to ship out right now. But on top of that, they building these sneeze shields, and I know y'all people seen them. But they building these shields to order, and I mean custom to whatever you want. They got, you name it. It don't matter what it is. They can make custom mounts, custom shields to fit whatever you want. So definitely, and I think it's starting at like $100 per shield. So
well, it just says $100 per shield.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how big a shield you want to get, but you can get a shield for $100. So definitely, again, steel wise for race cars, they got it. But this whole deal going on right now, I know it's a lot going on, a lot of differences, a lot of changes and whatever. So if your company or the government officials, whatever, they're mandating these certain sneeze shields or protective shields, whatever, splash guards, whatever you want to call them, to protect you or your staff from anything that may come available or come about, who knows whatever. Definitely go check them out. 888-752-7272. Go on there and you can probably custom make yours now for sure. Also at www.stockcarsteel.com and esales@stockcarsteel.com. So you got a couple different ways to check them out. And while you're on there, get you some steel, build your race car while you're at it.
I'm telling you, boy, they got everything you need. Also, with some of these tracks coming back running, Cherokee Speedway, they ran this past weekend, and they're running again this weekend. And as always, SRI Performance Trackside Trailer will be on hand for anything you might need for your race car or yourself. They got a lot of racing equipment,
absolutely. They
safety
got
equipment,
safety equipment, PPE equipment, whatever you may need. They gonna have it in that trailer. So go find them, go check them out, and don't forget SRI is your one-stop shop for all things racing.
Cool deal, man. Well, tell you what, we've been doing this. This is our 13th episode. Lucky 13.
I think it's our 14th week of quarantine in our 13th episode. So I don't really know how that works, but okay. Seems like it's been going on forever.
I don't get it. I feel like it's such a weird year for us to start this. We've been talking about this for a couple of years now.
It's been going on a long time. We've been trying to, contemplating back and forth. We didn't need to do it. We're going to have fans. We're going to have people that's going to listen. Then we kind of come up to the conclusion where I don't care if anybody listens, really. We're going to do it because we enjoy it. We talk about racing all the time. We ride around and wherever we're going, we talk about racing, like we've said before. So doing this together and and especially people like SRI taking a chance on us, giving us a chance to come on board with us, and we got a special guest coming up that definitely is a really cool dude coming up, and he has been all for supporting us from the get go, from when we first contacted him. David did a couple months back, so I'm really looking forward to building a good relationship with our guests.
Well, you pretty much said it all there. So with that being said, let's go to the phone line. All right, boys and girls, on the line now, we got late model star, Arca Menard Series E star, Derek Griffith on the phone. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How are you guys?
Man, we're great. We're great. Just getting on with it down here in good old South Carolina. How's it up there in the north?
Pretty good. Stuff's a little weird with all the virus stuff going on. Everyone seems pretty scared up here and on lockdown, so everyone's worried about people coming from New York and all that. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty good though. Staying healthy.
Good deal, man. Well, it sure is good to have you on. I know we've been in communication here ourselves with you for a few weeks now, a couple months almost, it seems like. So it's finally good to have you on here.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it, guys. You got we met through the iRacing debut, which didn't go so smooth, but yeah, it was pretty cool to be on the show for sure.
Well, man, I'm gonna tell you what. We got I know you've probably seen a little bit of it, but we have a pretty diverse crowd. We go from anything to go-karts to dirt cars all the way to the asphalt stuff, obviously, late model, and on up to NASCAR that we cover. So I want to let you more or less introduce yourself and let our crowd that don't know who you are, let them know who you are.
Cool. Well, my name's Derek Griffith. I am 23 years old. I'm from Hudson, New Hampshire, and I've been driving a race car since I was 12 years old, and started off at a little old racetrack called Hudson Speedway in Hudson, New Hampshire. Watched my old man race like bombers there since I was, the first time at the racetrack I was 3 months old. So racing's been, something that we've always been excited about and interested in doing since before I was even old enough to ride anything, never mind drive a race car. So I did all the sports growing up. I tried baseball, football, and all that, and just never really found that sweet spot until I was 12 years old, and I'm like, hey, Dad, let's go racing instead of playing football and all that. And bought me a little Volkswagen Golf GTI, and from there it spiraled out of control, as he says. So now we have been driving they call them Pro Stocks up here. So I've been driving a Pro Stock since 2012. I want to say was my first year in one, and we stayed pretty consistent. We had a couple of years there where I drove the mini stock, and then but with no body rules and no motor rules. So they were pretty cool. We've dabbled in some other stuff here and there, and we got to drive the Arca car in February, but it's primarily who I am. We work, I got my own deal, and then we work on race cars usually from 6:30 to 10 o'clock at night on normal race season, and that's our thing. Me and my old man do it, and we love doing it.
Well, I tell you, buddy, that's actually what I've told Sterling even that I like about you, because there's a lot. I ain't trying to talk junk about nobody out there, and if you can't tell, we're a pretty laid back podcast. You can say whatever you want to say about anybody. I don't really care. But that's what we like about you is there's all these boys now, especially you're a young man yourself. But there's these kids coming up, really. I mean, they're 14, 15 years old, and there's so many of them that seem like they have a lot of stuff handed to them, and all they do is show up and drive. And I look at your stuff on social media and stuff, and you're in the shop working. And that's what I like.
Yeah, I appreciate it for sure. It's kind of a thing that I was taught growing up. Obviously when I was younger, I couldn't really exactly, be hustling on stuff too much. But if I wasn't committed as much as everyone else, then we don't have a paid crew. I get Louie and Dolly Michelitis, which they've been with me since Louie rebuilt my Mustang motor when I was 13 years old, and he's been helping us out on stuff since then. And now he's our full-time crew chief, and he's not we're not paid, everyone's not paid, no one gets paid to do anything and all that. We do it because we love doing it, and I'm so lucky that they're the choosing to spend their time with me, working on my stuff and running around the whole country, just doing, and even out of the country sometimes. For me to race out of anyone is pretty cool. And Louis had a stellar career of racing, and I hope to see him one day in a car again. And but he's been focusing on me these last few years, which like I said, I don't think I could ever live down the amount of help I've got from the Michelitis family in general. So it's pretty cool to have that help. And they taught me when I was young, like I said, to put in the work or else it's not worth it. And it really started to pay off a couple of years in. And it's been an awesome ride already. I'm hoping I can carry this a little bit farther and really make it up there. But if I stayed in super late models the rest of my life, I'd be pretty happy too. It's a cool thing to be involved with so much.
Well, speaking of the super late model stuff, the other night, pretty cool. We saw it. Checked you out. The Speed 51 draft, short track draft. You got drafted number 3, man. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Highest I've ever been on the draft for sure. We've been on the draft the last 4 or 5 years now, and we've been okay. I've made it all the way up to 12th before being picked 3rd, and I think the season opener down New Smyrna with a championship down there, and then the win that we had over Ty, and we were kind of just riding a hot streak. And even at the Derby, where we struggled the 2 years ago, and then last year we just missed on a pit stop deal, but was still, I think I was racing with the top 4 guys, and I was a lap down, but I was 4th on the racetrack, and they even scored me as 4th for a little while and fixed it. I was like, man, I thought we were doing pretty good, but it's just we've just been doing good these last 2 years. It seems like it's been a progression every year. We kind of seem to strike on something else. I kind of had a little comfort zone pre 2017 or 18 where I just never really won any races outside of home area, New Hampshire. And then last year we finally got a win at Oxford, second in the 250, and we just the team just was gelled together. They were working so good, and it showed. It was pretty cool to come up on the draft behind 2 people that outfund me and have a lot more opportunities than I do, but at the same time they're going to make it for sure. And it seems like a lot of people around me on that draft deal are definitely going to make it. So if people look at me and hey, that kid's definitely going to make it, that's feels good for sure.
Man, that's cool, but I'm gonna tell you, I still think you should have been second.
yeah. I'll let them pick on. I think I only missed second by 1 vote. So 1 vote. She had 1 more vote than I did. So.
Yeah, but you had 1 more vote for first place, so I don't know. But anyway, well, I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you something real quick. I haven't even told you this in the times that we've talked. When you came on my radar, I'd heard your name a few times around the super late model crowd, and I've always helped around our local tracks here. I've got quite a few buddies that run more of the local stuff, just charger cars or something like that. But anyway, I think it was 2018, I want to say it was. You were running the Pass Series, and we went over to Dillon Motor Speedway, and you stomped them over there, man.
Yeah, that was a 200 lap race, I think, and that was probably one of my most gratifying wins that we had, especially anywhere away from home too. But like, man, I went there that in 2017 we went there, and I started pin and got put a lap down by like lap 70. And I don't know, like we're usually not a team that goes a lap down period. So it's like, like we'll be, if we're off, we're usually off enough to be still like top 10. And man, we just got our butts handed to us. And I'm like, that was such a frustrating feeling, because even then, like, we followed out the season really well in 17, and then just it was like we look back at that, we're like, what happened? So it was good to come back that second time and to do. We had a really, really good car. We run crate motor stuff for the most part. The kid Ray Christian, the 93 that we were battling with, had a big dry something thing. So it was cool to be like, the little crate motor beat you down there at a track, and it showed clear as day in like the highlight videos. Man, he'd pull like two car lengths on me on the straightaway. So it was a good win for sure.
Man, that's sweet. That's sweet. Well, let's go back to New Smyrna a little bit. First of this year, man, you had a good week down there.
The whole week, yeah. Speed Week was great for you.
Yeah, man. It's hard to complain about a week where we just didn't get any bad luck. Like, there was just no bad luck. And that's very rare in racing, in any sort of racing that you do. I don't think we had one, quote unquote bad night. I think I finished 7th or 6th or something like that. And I'm like, man, all the other nights, I think I finished 2nd like 5 times that week. So I was kind of like getting sick and tired of being a bridesmaid, but at the same time, it's hard to complain when, you got KBM and Wimmer and, all these pretty high-end teams around. And it was cool. We've been going down to Speed Weeks for a while now, and that place, same thing, has kind of kicked our butts for the last few years. And I just owe a lot of my progression to that racetrack and that whole entire week. We've gone down there years and just been, way off and wrecked and had issues. And, it's good to finally have a good week down there.
Yeah, and then the top it off with the ARCA Menard Series East run down there, sitting on the pole.
Yeah, led about everything in that race.
Yeah. The one that didn't, the most important one I didn't lead, but
that's right. That's right.
Good, It was man, that thing was hooked up. I had never driven. The only car I've driven that's sort of like that, I drove like a late model Sportsman up here, where they're similar in a lot of senses, but they're a lot different. And it drove pretty close to the same. And I just kind of compared it to that. And as of Sunday, that test day that we had, I'd never seen the car. I didn't know what number we were running. I didn't know anything about it. So it was cool to have them, kind of hit the nail on the head with like set up, the seat, everything. I didn't get fitted for it or nothing. So those guys at the Chad Bryant team, they got their, they really got it together. And, we started off, and they had never been in New Smyrna before. So, started off throwing changes at it, trying to get it in the right spot. And from there, just like picked away. I mean, we stayed on the same set of tires all day Sunday. And I think, we had 130 laps on the tires at the end of the run. And same thing Monday. I mean, we started off on a new set, real good, and never mocked. We never mocked up or anything. And, we went out for time trial, and he set it on the pole, and it was like, wow, really? Like, that was pretty crazy to me, because, it's just a whole different kind of racing than the supers. They drive different, the motors are different, everything about them is different. So it was just such a cool deal to just even get a chance to drive one of those things, and then to kind of excel in the like the performance side of things. It was just like, that made our whole week. If that didn't happen, it would be a pretty memorable week because of the championship. But I've never been so happy to finish second in my life, but the way we did it. So, but it was cool. It's definitely cool.
Well, that was very impressive for sure. And you may not lead the most important lap, but you definitely turned some heads. I can assure you that. So you got a lot of good to come out of that race, I do believe.
And also, one of the big heads turned there. I see you got your new sponsor after that race.
Yep, yeah, for sure. So Original Gourmet, local company in Salem, New Hampshire, and the only way. So not everyone might know the name, but I can guarantee everyone knows what the lollipops are. So if they go to Home Depot or Walmart, or they were in Target for a while, they're all over the place. You go to checkout and you look over to the side, and they got that like pedestal of lollipops that goes all the way around like 360 degrees, especially at Home Depot. It's those guys. So they sell all kinds of stuff, but we kind of had been talking to him about doing something for a little while. My father knows the owner of the Original Gourmet a little bit, and we're like, check this out. And we showed him the race. He loved it. The exposure that we were kind of getting was a big selling point to him. And, he's a big candy company. And, I think M&M spends, crazy money a year sponsoring, Kyle Busch and the series and all that stuff. So I think he's just kind of getting his feet wet in this whole deal and trying to see how it's going to play out for him. So hopefully we can make enough of a splash for him where, future he wants to stay on board and everything. And I was like spun right out for 2-3 weeks trying to find a sponsor, because like, man, we wanted to run Pensacola, and Chad was excited. He wanted to try to run something, and we were doing everything we could. I reached out to like any company possible that was willing to do it. So it was it came like the week before the race was scheduled, and of course everything got postponed, and it was unfortunate, but unfortunately it's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, unfortunately that's how it has been here the past too long.
Yeah, seems like way too long. What's as far as this schedule coming back up soon? Do y'all is there any plans of when the return is going to happen?
We're not 100% as of yet. So because of the circumstances, it seems like everything's just a little bit messed up. They don't want to commit to like a schedule yet. But I do know the 29th at Bristol, ARCA is supposed to have a race. I don't know exactly the circumstances or what's going on. They just kind of were in talks to do something. So, if that's the case, we'll be down there running that number 2 Original Gourmet lollipop car for Chad. And, that's fingers crossed, man. I'm ready to get back racing. I'm like jonesing out I got nothing to do on the weekends. It's crazy.
We know exactly what you mean,
buddy. We're going crazy ourselves. Well, I know a lot of these guys are using iRacing for seat time of some sorts in this downtime. I know you running some iRacing and getting used to it somewhat. And how, in what relation does it have, if any, to actual seat time?
You know what? It's of course, my biggest problem was when I first started, I was running some computer that was built like 15 years ago. And this thing was like, it looked like I was playing Pac-Man, like it was horrible. So my fault. I actually bought a used gaming computer off my friend. And I'm like, wow, what a world of difference. You can see, like, it was almost like trying to drive blind, like blind man without glasses trying to drive. I'm like, no wonder why I was so bad before. And, it was, that was half the deal. And then, I couldn't believe how much like the wheel settings and all that stuff really changes how stuff drives. I was worried about, I got to start throwing stuff at the car, changing the car and doing this. And I'm like, it's not the car, it's the controls. So,
right.
So that was like a big, big learning curve. And I seem to get a little bit better as we go on with the super select races and all that. And, they want me to do it and everything, which, I love the sort of experience. It's just, it's almost like I'm not really ready to run at that level. But, I'm willing to try. And we've been getting better. I think I was pretty good at Indianapolis Raceway there, the Lucas Oil Speedway race. And I kind of got a little screwed up with pitting. I have no idea. I had no idea how to shut the tires off. So to take tires, so they disqualified me like 3 times for taking tires. So I'm like, man, I don't know how to shut it off. Can someone tell me how to shut it off?
Exactly.
So
that is difficult for sure.
That was interesting.
Don't worry, Sterling asks me that about every week. I think
we ran a race last night, matter of fact, and we run a street stocks at Darlington. It's a hosted race deal we was running, and I don't know if you've run a street stock on there or not, but it takes 30 minutes to put fuel in the thing, I think. So he said, turn the fuel off. I don't know how to turn the fuel off on the thing. I don't know how to do it.
That's so funny. But yeah, that's been my biggest like learning curve, is all that stuff. But I ran Oxford Plains on Sunday night, and I saw the difference. I mean, the relative pieces and parts there. I mean, the visual aspect of things has been really good to kind of get a hold of. So like, I mean, I can hop in an ARCA car and go run at Bristol, and I can't really, that's hard to compare, real life versus the iRacing thing. Cause I've never been to Bristol, but I can imagine that it's going to be a lot different. But like I said, the visual aspect, your lift points, where, how hard can you really drive in versus how quick can you get back to the gas? It's all really relevant stuff. I've noticed that the iRacing super late models seem to drive a ton different than real life super late models. There's a bunch of like tricks and pieces, the things that people pick up a ton of speed with versus, like what I would do in real life. But, it's good. It's good to keep us, from getting rusty. I mean, any form of racing right now is good racing, even if it's, if we were at the arcade racing like Daytona, what is the game like Daytona 500 on the little arcade?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
so I'm learning, but it's been a process.
well, that's cool. That's kind of what I told. We talked about a few weeks ago was during this time, unfortunately, baseball completely shut down. Basketball completely shut down. They don't know what they're going to do about football this year. And granted, yes, we have not actually been at a racetrack, but some form, even though it's on a computer, can still continue just because it's somewhat of the same skill set. I mean,
it's a competition, so I mean,
yeah. And so we've been the racing.
When you watch, it's unbelievable to watch too.
Yeah.
It is. It really
so
is.
the racing side of things has been fortunate, really. I'm just like, why wouldn't you show all this on sports channels all the time? Because there's nothing else on. So
exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, keep everyone busy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As far as NASCAR coming back to Darlington, what's your thoughts on it?
That's going to be, it's going to be interesting. I think, if they think it's the proper time to come back, then, it's proper time to come back. I think this whole entire scenario just has put people in places where they've never been before. So there's no real right or wrong way to respond. I mean, everyone probably has their, way they think it should go. Just, it's tough when people are telling you never go outside and other people are telling you, don't even worry about it at all. So it's just so conflicting. If NASCAR is ready to race at Darlington, then I'm excited. I want to watch. I want to race. I want to get back going. So it's I'm excited personally, but some other people I'm sure aren't.
Well, like you said, that's anybody's opinion. But the upsetting thing about it to me is Darlington is about 10 minutes from our house here, and we can't go watch it. So that's gonna be tough on us.
I'm gonna go find a man lift of some sort and sit outside turn 4 or something. I don't know.
There you go. We're gonna find us some way. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Years back, of course, Darlington had 2 races and went to 1, and now we're gonna have 3 this year. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited about it.
And this was a question I actually meant to bring up to you. But being a guy that's run late models pretty much up and down especially the East Coast, what's the differences for you in racing in the North, growing up racing in the North, as to racing in the South, or is there any differences?
Yeah, there is some differences. It seems like a lot of the kids down south, I say kids, but racers move down, or that are from down south, move a lot faster than the guys from back home. A lot of times, we'll have some people that run the super late model series at Oxford Plains for 10 years before they even consider running a series or bouncing around, or they really kind of focus on one of those lower series before they move up to a pass or anything like that. So it seems like down south there's a lot younger crowd. You have the Sammy Smiths and the Sam Mayers that seem maybe he's from out west, but he races down south very often. It's right. Those that I don't know, they just seem like they're just super late model, 14 years old, gung-ho, right off the bat, whereas up here we seem to just kind of take a little bit more time, and we seem a little more weathered than a lot of the southern boys. And then of course you're going to have the guys down south that have been running supers forever. But I'm not saying as a whole. Just that's what I've seen personally. A lot of the guys down south. I mean, the racing is just a little different in a few ways. I mean, we're used to one set of tires, crate motors, 150 laps. On these like Hoosiers that you can get one week that are awesome and get the next week they're horrible. There's so many different aspects of everything. Whereas down south, it seems like the cars themselves are a little bit. They're more like not shootout cars, but you run 100 laps. Or you run, 75 laps, change tires, run another 75 laps. It seems like the guys back home seem a little bit more conservative on that side. But, it seems like even up here, you go from Connecticut to Maine, it's going to be different. But that's the biggest differences I see.
I definitely believe that. And guys, I help at the track sometimes. After we're done with a race, them tires are just shot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the cost around here, and I know it's the same up there. The cost to race competitively is just it's astronomical. The way it just rises every year, and even the local tracks. Dillon even has they've put on series of certain classes to run more affordable racing, more affordable motors, more affordable, and it seems like in 6 months it's astronomical price again. So
it seems like they're actually trying to get more like you're just talking about, more up north with more of the crate motors. That's always the direction they seem to be heading down here, is try to get crate motors, but then they always seem to, you can do this to it, you can do that. It's like, no, don't do anything.
You can put $10,000 worth of shocks on the car. It's fine, whatever. No.
We call them southern crates, is what we call them. Like when we'll go run a Hickory and stuff, and there'll be someone that's from down that way, and they're like, "Oh, we got a crate motor," and it's like, it's a create motor. It's not, there ain't nothing crate about it. The only time it was in a crate was when it was brought into the motor shop and with the heads tore off of it after they bored it and started messing with it. It's up home. A lot of people, you're allowed to freshen your motor over. It's supposed to be when it's worn out, but people kind of play games up north too. But it's kind of it gets a little frustrating too, because it turns this $6,000 engine into a $12,000 engine after you do all this work to it, and people are all throwing them things in. They last half a season. Like we had one motor that we ran up here. It had 3.5 seasons on it before getting freshened. I think we replaced the valve springs once. And I mean, like we killed this thing for a whole season. We had like every race, we killed it. Then we ran it at Oxford for, 2 seasons after that, because you run around the track at like 6,200 RPM. So it ain't going to hurt it, but so it's crazy to see the differences. You go like we went to Jukasa with our 100% like bone stock out of the crate, bottle cap sealed GM 604, and like we got annihilated with like, and they put restrictor plates on the other guys, like easily 30 horsepower more than us, like absolutely annihilated us. Like the Fords were killing us, even like the GM crates that were, we freshened it and, we changed the cam. They had same thing, restrictor plates on it, and they'd pull 3 car lengths on me down the straightaway. I'm like, man, we brought a knife to a gunfight here. Cause I thought with restrictor plates, even Louis was like, man, we're in good shape. We can go up with our crate motor and not be, way off, and we were off. So it's part of the deal, but it sucks.
Well, that's very frustrating for sure. But like you say, I know around here, around the North Carolina Hickory, Mooresville, all that area, the industry's growing around there like crazy. So a lot of people get noticed more around here. I know it's a lot harder, like you said, for you to get noticed up there. But I think the really cool thing is you can come down here, take the time to travel to their area and their town and whoop up on them. I love to see that, man. That's great.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. My favorite racetrack was I was really green, really young. I completely blew it at Orange County one year. We had a car that was 0.3 faster than the whole field and just blew it. Young, like I said, green, just burnt the right rear off of it in 70 laps, and just totally my fault. And ever since then, I've always wanted to go back, and it's just I love going down south and racing. Dillon, Hickory, and Orange County. I'd love to go to Concord one day, but I heard that was getting turned into like a IA auction thing or something like that.
Yeah, but, it's not looking good for them.
It's not. How about Myrtle Beach? Have you made it to Myrtle Beach yet, by chance?
Never ran at Myrtle Beach. I think the Cars Tour races there every now and then. I haven't raced the Cars Tours yet. I know they run a lot of like late model stock stuff there too. And,
Right.
but I've never been to Myrtle Beach. Seems like a cool little racetrack.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one.
sweet.
If they don't do the same thing too, as
Yeah, they're talking about putting houses there, so
Yeah.
hopefully they don't do that.
if they don't do that, one day you need to make it down there because that's a cool track to run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome. And hopefully they don't put houses there. It's so.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you what. But well, what's your goal? And I mean, do you want to continue growing, continue moving up to the highest level, or are you happy with being blue collar and doing it yourself and working on your own race cars, which I love, absolutely love. Where's your near future goals?
I tell everyone. I mean, every race car driver, like, even if you drive a mini stock, you're like, man, one day, on Sunday when you sit down, you turn on, the cup race, you're like, man, I'd love to do that one day. Even if you don't think you can do it, you still want to do it.
Absolutely.
Just, man, of course I want to make it. It's so cool to look up to like someone like Ryan Priest that did make it, from our area, someone who I saw at the racetrack all the time, and
Right.
to see him on Sundays now, he's not in the top-notch equipment by any means, but he's there and he's racing, he's on TV, he's doing good, and that's cool to see that, and it gives you hope. But I'm not gonna, it's not gonna be totally saddening to me if I don't make it. Like I said, we're super happy running super late models, and I'm so happy to have the crew that I have and everything. I think if we push really hard, I think if things keep lining up the way they are, I think I can make it a little farther than where I'm at now for sure, and then take it from there. But things kind of have to keep going my way, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Is if we have a good rest of the season, if there even is a season, then
Right.
that's going to be the telling factor for sure. That's going to be what how we kind of move forward. So I'm hopeful, but I don't expect anything.
Absolutely. Well, I understand that. We're gonna definitely be pulling for you, man. And when all this stuff gets back going, we're gonna if you get down this way, we're gonna come hang out with you and root you on for sure soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Always welcome to come hang out with us. We're a good time, promise.
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah.
Absolutely, man.
We like a good time, and one day we're gonna do more and put some stickers on your iRacing car. One day maybe we can move this on up, maybe put some stickers on the real car. So.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna hopefully anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. Send some my way. We'll get some on.
I got you, buddy. Well, man, we sure appreciate you coming on. Like I said, we sure appreciate you running our Chicken Bone Alley stuff in the Speed 51 Select Series there. That was really cool for us to see it on the car. Would you driving?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe one day it'll actually be running up front with me driving, and maybe I got to get one of you guys in that thing and just tell them it's me.
Hey, well, speaking of telling us it's you, did you happen to hear what was supposed to be Derek Krause's interview this past week at Oxford?
No, was it me?
No. Somebody got on there. If you get a chance, go back and look at the Speed 51 thing. It was right after they talked to you, or maybe a couple interviews after they talked to you. They got somebody on there who claimed to be Krause, and he just started bashing the whole Speed 51 Select Series, and them dudes had no clue what to say. It was very awkward.
Yeah, it was.
And
I'll have to listen. That's pretty funny.
it's funny, but Krause went on Twitter and he was like, "Guys, that was not me, I promise."
Oh, you know what? I remember seeing on the chat on the iRacing thing, and it was like Derek Krause thrown out of the lobby, and then it was like everyone's like, "Oof!" After I'm like, "Oh man, well, I don't know what happened." That's pretty funny. I'll have to go back.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's
so I hate it, but it was funny all at the same time. So.
Yeah, well,
But anyway, dude, well, we sure appreciate it. Sure appreciate
Absolutely.
you coming on. I know we've been talking about it a couple times, and like I said, we appreciate it, man. I mean, we'll anytime you want to come on here, talk about anything, talk about what's coming up, you are more than welcome to give us a call anytime.
No sweat, guys. I really appreciate it, and you'll definitely be hearing from me again for sure.
absolutely. Sounds great. Thanks, Derek.
Well, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? That's pretty cool. I really
That was really cool. Everybody's gonna know the name Derek Griffith, I can assure you in a very near future. I know he's a up north guy. He runs a lot of northern stuff, but he's coming down here and he's whooping up on these guys like we said. So that's gonna draw some attention. That's gonna turn some heads of these bigger dudes, and he's gonna get the nod here soon. He's like I said, and the thing that we like the most about him and about the way we are is we're blue collar guys. We like to work on our own stuff. We like to work during the day, do our normal day job, do whatever we got to do, and at night come home, work on the race car, get it ready for the weekend. And especially the lower funded team, lower budget, working off of help and volunteers that want to have a good time and enjoy themselves, not just go around and make laps and just have fun doing it, but be competitive and run up front and show that there's more to racing than just money throwing out there.
Yeah, you got to have a driver, and you got to know how to set up that car.
You got to know how to set up the car. You got to have good teammates. You got to work together well and put the people in the right place. And I think they're doing so.
Yeah, they're definitely doing so. He's, like we said, all the new Smyrna stuff, and I mean, there's much more than that. I mean, there's championships and track championships and so many race wins that Derek's had over his career, and he's still a young guy, 23 years old.
Oh, he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, a long way to go and a lot of races to win.
Absolutely. So, he's going to move up quick. He really is. I know it's going to happen, and I wish him nothing but the best. And we're going to be pulling for him hard over here on this end and from this area, from South Carolina. And I hope that and appreciate it if all of our listeners can go on and follow him as well and see where it goes. We're gonna be pulling for him hard, man.
Well, you're going to be hearing the name a lot regardless. So if you go on there now, go ahead, follow him. You can say you picked him up before he got huge, because it's coming.
That's right. Absolutely. Go ahead and invest in him now, because I'm telling you what, he's going to definitely be heard soon. So looking forward to that. I hope everything works out. You know, I know nothing's set in stone with Bristol coming up with the ARCA deal, so we'll be listening for that. Like he said, he has not run Bristol yet, so that's going to be interesting to see him there. And I know he's going to be tough. You know, world's fastest half mile. It's going to be neat to see him there. Looking forward to that, whether it be now or in the future, whichever. But and again, looking forward to talking with him again. So appreciate everybody for listening, for sure.
Oh yeah, I thank y'all for coming on again this week, and I don't know if I really got much left. Well, you got anything? I
think that's it, man. We're going to see what happens next week. Like I said, we got racing coming back this weekend, Dylan. We'll kind of give you some highlights on that coming up. So, coming up next week. So, we'll see what happens from there on out, man. We're getting things started back up. Finally, we got something else to talk about other than iRacing, which I love iRacing. Don't get me wrong. But we finally got some on-track stuff coming up. I'm excited.
I'm with you. I love iRacing. But seeing it on TV every week, I love running it. But just seeing it on TV constantly, it's starting to lose its luster a little bit. So we got to get some cars on track, and we're about to have that here shortly. So anyway, guys, we sure appreciate y'all listening this week, and we will see y'all later. And I'm
again, out. SRI, go check him out. Derek Griffith, go check him out. Give him a like. Follow him. Look at some of his old stuff. You're gonna like what you see, absolutely. So thank y'all very much. Later.
Let's go where there's empty feathers to choose.